Tonight we've got the first formal of term, the computer science formal, which is a posh three-course meal for about £10, which we have to dress up like this for. It's probably a bit dark to see, but suit and gown. I'm afraid I didn't video anything in the formals, so I'll try to do that next time. For now I'll just describe what they're like to you. So basically, dress up in suit and gown. Formals happen a few times a week in Queen's. Any member of college can go. There's a specific computer science formal that happens on Wednesday. So I say formal, it just means there are two times you can go to what is called the buttery for food. There's just the normal buttery time, 6 till 7, anyone turns up in any clothes you want, eat in a normal environment. Or you can pay the day before and book to go to formal hall, which is what I'm talking about now. And that's a three-course meal. It is served, everybody sits down and they come and bring all the food out. At the beginning someone hits a gong, everyone stands up and then someone reads something in Latin, and obviously I have no idea what they say. Everybody's there a couple of hours before they leave. The meals, they're good, not outstanding at Queen's, I would say. They don't have much variation either. If you go to a lot of formals at Queen's you tend to always be having salad as the starter, steak is the favourite main course, and then maybe lemon cheesecake or something like that for dessert. And when I say there's a computer science formal, that just means the computer scientists at Queen's and our director of studies, both of them in fact, we have two right now, they go specifically on a Wednesday and we can join them, and then one of the computer science fellows provides wine for everyone. Otherwise you'd be taking your own wine. The rule is you're allowed half a bottle of wine each. It used to be that you could take a full bottle of wine each, but they decided everybody got too drunk. So they changed it to half a bottle, which to me just encourages people to down half a bottle of wine before they even go into the room. I mean, excuse my voice, I have definitely caught freshers flu now. According to Wikipedia, 90% of students at university catch freshers flu in the first few weeks, so if you're starting uni, just expect to get a cold when you get there. Formal was followed by a couple of drinks in the bar, then a relatively early night, up early the next day for the first lecture. I was riding along quite happily to the first lecture this morning, to the computer lab, and then my handlebars fell off. Lots of you are interested in studying at Queen's and at Cambridge and how it works and how we revise and learn in lectures, so just keep watching. Obviously the first vlog last week was Freshers Week, none of that happened. Lectures have now started. I've got all my lecture notes so far here. Our first lecture was on Prolog. Prolog is a declarative programming language. It's one of the slightly unusual ones that they teach us at Cambridge. That was in fact the only real Prolog lecture that we'll be having. Subsequent lectures will be videos online that we watch instead, and we can watch those whenever we want. That is the only lecture course like that, though all other lecture courses are real lectures that we go to at the computer lab. Immediately after that we had another lecture on software engineering, and then one on computer design. So the way it works in computer science is we get these handouts for every lecture, and they're basically just printouts of the slides that they use on the projector in the lecture, and we can write on these if we want to take notes. This is not true for every subject. Some subjects don't have handouts, some have different types of handouts. Some lecturers wouldn't use slideshows like they do for us. Concurrent and distributed systems, logic and proof, and mathematical methods for computer science. Computer science lecture courses are maybe on average 8 lectures long, they vary a lot. This is the timetable for computer science lectures, which is the most confusing timetable in the world. This has Part 1A, 1B and 2, which is years 1, 2 and 3 of the course, Michaelmas term, which is term 1, Lent term, which is term 2, and Easter term, which is term 3. Every lecture course, Monday to Saturday, which includes the lecturer, the name of the lecture course, the times, the days, and the location of everything, and they've managed to get it all onto one page, at the expense of it being remotely possible to actually understand and read. The lectures were followed by the first hardware practical of term, which included no hardware for the first week. We instead learnt a language called System Verilog, which is used to describe logic and hardware circuits and things like that with words instead of with diagrams. We then got given this at the end of the practical. Now this is basically a tablet, a really big one called a T-pad. Now we don't get to keep these, but this is what we'll be using apparently for the hardware practicals for the rest of the term. It looks quite cool. It says University of Cambridge Computer Lab on the back. So I haven't turned this on yet, I don't really know anything about it, but I'll let you know what we do with these. It even comes with a nice case. Another thing to mention that I didn't video at all was the first bop of term. Now bops in Cambridge are the parties, discos, club nights, whatever you want to call them, inside of college. They're all themed. The first one was back to school. Everyone was there in white shirts and ties, a surprising number of people with their top buttons done and their shirts tucked in. You get a DJ to play, the bop lasts for a couple of hours. Now this is again something that's different at every college. This is just my experience with Queen's bops. The bops are not great value at Queen's, they're £5 to get in. People don't really turn up until 11:30. If you go before then it's pretty empty. And they finish at 12:30, and you're also not allowed to take drinks into the hall where they have the bops. And if you're a first year computer scientist, then you will have a 9 AM Saturday lecture the following day. As a second year I don't have Saturday lectures anymore, all lectures before 10 AM, and it is really nice to have a full weekend again. The food didn't look great in the buttery tonight, so we've got a ready meal instead, which is about all we can do in here with no oven. We're not walking to lectures due to the lack of bike. This year I have 3 lectures Monday to Friday, from 10 to 1 every day, same place, same lecture theatre. Except for the video lectures. While we have those, we only have 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, we have 3 hours most days in the same lecture theatre, which is nice and handy, but a bit unpleasant. Walking this way kind of cheers me up on a morning because I have to walk past this lab, which is where I did physics practicals last year. And it reminds me that I don't have to do those anymore. This is the computer science lab, the William Gates building. The back bit is where they do loads of research. The front bit with windows is where lectures and practicals and supervisions happen. This is the first time the fire alarm has been off this term. This is the intermittent one where we just stay and do nothing and hope there's not a real fire. This happens a lot during the night as well. It is really annoying. This can go on for a long time and drive you mad. I guess now's a good time to read this.